Mike, I'm sure you feel like you have a pretty good handle on your team through now almost 50 games. What maybe did you learn more about them today, given everything that's gone on the last 24 hours?
Well, I just think it speaks volumes for the character of the people in the room. You know, the last couple of days have been pretty emotional for the whole group, and to respond with an effort like they did tonight, you know, for me, just I think is evidence that these guys are quality people and they care a lot about each other and about the Rangers. And so I've said to you guys all along how much these guys care, and I meant it sincerely. And so I couldn't be happier for them, because obviously it's been a tough couple of weeks here, and these guys are competing hard and they want to have success. So I'm real happy for the players.
Do you think there's something to, as David Quinn called it to me between periods, the bubble of uncertainty was burst and it kind of maybe allowed them to just go out and play?
I'm sure that that's part of it. I think it's been heavy as I said to you guys the last little while here, and it's not because the guys don't care. It's just the complete opposite. It's because they do care, and everybody that's involved with this team is completely invested in so many ways. And when we don't have success, it gets heavy and everybody feels it. And so, I thought today was a more spirited effort, just as far as our ability to play a more instinctive game. I thought we were more assertive for a lot of the game. I thought, give Philly credit, they pushed there down the stretch, and we were on our heels a little bit down the stretch, but for a lot of the game, I thought it was the most assertive game that we've played in all three zones, just as far as anticipating plays and playing on our toes and making decisions with conviction, and there wasn't as much hesitation out there. And it's hard to play this game when you're not in an instinctive mindset, and that's been our challenge, most recently, that we've been trying to overcome. And I thought today they did a great job at it.
And Mike, for you, career win number 500. It's a pretty small fraternity in the NHL that has done that. What's the significance for you, and how proud are you of the accomplishment?
Well, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to coach in this league. It's the greatest league in the world, and it's an absolute privilege to be a part of it in any capacity. So to be a head coach for as long as I have at this point has been an incredible honor. I'm grateful to the players that I've had the privilege of coaching over the years that have helped, have helped in so many ways with, those wins as we've collected them over the years. I'm just grateful. This game's it's a humbling game. There's a lot of really good coaches. There's a lot of great players. It's a competitive environment. I don't take a single day for it for granted, but I'm certainly grateful for the opportunity that I've been given.
Second hat trick for Mika in 16 days, I think. Just what have you made of the way that he's raised his level over the last month?
I'm happy for Meek. I think he's had a really good year for us. He's played extremely well, consistently on both sides of the puck. He's a real good 200-foot player. He has the ability to score. I mean, he's the types of goals that he scores, a goal scorer's goals. That one at the end of the power play, I'm not even sure if it was a power play goal, but as it expired, just coming down on his strong side and not having to, massage that puck. He keeps it on his forehand, and it's literally right under the bar. I think that those are the types of goals. There aren't a lot of guys that can score those types of goals, and I just think that speaks volumes for his talent level. But he's really committed to trying to play the game the right way, the way we're trying to play. I think he's personified that most of the year. We've challenged him to use his size and his physicality, both offensively and defensively, and I think he's really embraced that challenge. He's played extremely well for us. I'm happy for him.
Mike, for Artemi in particular, tough couple days for him, obviously. For him to, tell us in there, I want to give 100% to the Rangers while I'm here, come out and have that kind of impact. Just what are your feelings on him and what he's been through and the way he performed?
Well, I obviously think the world of him. He's an elite player. He's one of the best Rangers of his generation, and I think his body of work speaks for itself and what he's accomplished in the league. I think to have the game he had today after the last couple of days is, once again, he's one of the guys that I'm talking about when I talk about the types of people that we have in the room, and you know, their character and how much they care, and I think I think his game today was representative of that. He's a great person. He's an elite player. He drives offense in so many ways, and he continued to do that for us tonight.
And Brendan Hoffman gets his first NHL goal. Is it still cool to see that in person for a kid like that? And what do you think it'll do for him now going forward?
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, that never gets old, you know, because I think when you watch a player score their first NHL goal, that's something that nobody ever forgets, you know. And 30 years from now, he'll be able to, you know, recapture this moment, and he'll know exactly what it was like. And I just think the excitement, the raw emotion, and the enthusiasm around that never gets old, and it's certainly fun to watch. What we hope it does is it frees him up a little bit, because obviously, you know, he's played a fair amount of games, and he hasn't been able to break through. So, you know, one of Otter's strength, I think, is his ability to shoot the puck. He's got a real good shot, and when he gets in the scoring area, we're trying to encourage him to shoot the puck because of it. And maybe this will free him up a little bit, and he can just play.
It looked like, you know, there was talk about, you know, guys playing free today, right? Like loose, free, and you touched on it. Do you want your guys to, even though this was announced and whatnot, do you want your guys to feel a little bit of pressure to climb the standings here? Do you know, or is this okay? Like play like this, play just free and easy without the pressure of it.
Well, it's all in what you know. I think, you know, pressure is all about, you know, what your outlook is and how you perceive it. And I think, you know, the biggest thing for me is that we continue to have expectations for ourselves. And we've got a lot of good players in that room, and we're going to try to win every game right in front of us. And so I think we all internally have to have a certain expectation of one another on what our intentions are going to be going into every game. And so you can look at it one of two ways. You know, you can feel it as pressure, or you can get excited about it because it's a great opportunity. We want to look at it as an opportunity and get excited about it. And so from that standpoint, you know, your ability to play a free, instinctive game is important for players to be at their best. But there's also we want to have internal expectations that we're going to set the bar high, and we're going to pursue excellence every day. And you know, we're not going to lower the standard of what that expectation is of ourselves each and every day. We're going to embrace that process, you know, whether it's practice, games, or otherwise. And that's the conversation that we had with the group, and that's how we're going to approach it every day.